Hello everyone, this is Mike.
And Zoe.
And welcome to the impromptu extra episode, because today we didn't want to do math, so we decided to do code instead. Yes. So episode 15, and yes, so I explained to Zoe the things that I did when she was absent. And yeah, so now what we need to do is we need to figure out the next steps, right?
Right.
Now, let me do something. So what we're going to do is we're going to debug the value 70.
70.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah, that's
start
right.
for the start.
Yeah, because we want to see if the first stays first after they've rolled the entire board.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead and roll the 70.
Blue is first.
Now, this will take a bit, so all we can do is wait.
Yes. 10. You got a pretty high number, except...
Blue rolled a 70. How'd you do it, Blue?
Cheating, Blue.
Cheating, Blue.
Well, it was us making him cheat, so...
I guess. If you must be all precise about this. Actually, now that I think about it, is this... Well, if it's not going to work, it's going to work next turn. It'll be fine. Okay. So, it's finished one lap. Oh, go again?
Go again.
No, don't!
Oops, sorry.
It's a 70 run.
I forgot.
Wait, this is useless now. Welcome to children. 64. Okay, try it again.
So it doesn't
Hit play.
fall straight and go again
Yeah.
this time.
It covers quite a lot less ground. Actually, I think he's going to end up on the mine and then fall backwards. That's
We'll
fine.
see. But I'm pretty sure we have 62, so...
Yeah, I know. I wanted to do the whole lap. Right? The whole lap plus a bit, so it can get overtaken after. Because the deal is we need to test that whoever overtakes red still remains second. Now
Okay.
don't press space after this, please.
I will not.
Thank you. Thank you. We need to change the value of in the game manager. Da-da-da-da-da-da. There it is. Okay, so it's yellow's turn. Now we're going to pause, go to the game manager, change this to -1 again, unpause, now hit space.
It's very lucky that... It might be lucky that he rolls a 2.
No. So you see it's overtaken red, and it's still
First.
first, right?
Because
it's
red
got-
has already done this whole
That's
lap.
right, because it's got the whole lap behind it already.
So that works.
That works. And what we're going to do now is we are going to do what? We are going to pause again, and we're
Okay.
going to change this to 70.
Again.
Well, not 70 was too much. Let's do 64 as well.
And for
we
green?
hit it before. Yeah, so hit it. So now
Now-
it should stay third, then remain third after we overtake red. So we're going to pause right as we reach that point. Okay. See? It's still third. Still third, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now it became second, which is correct.
Because it overtook this guy.
Because it overtook yellow, yeah. You remember, you can't point at the screen. People have no idea
yeah.
you're doing it. Yeah. So it overtook yellow. Now green is making its way all across.
Passing all the breakdowns and all the good things.
And now it should go first. Now, a worry that I have is that red went back a spot, meaning that red will cross the starting line again. And that is probably a bit of a quirk or bug. We mentioned it before. So it's a bit of a concern. Okay, let's unmaximize this. And now let's change it to -1 and just let things play out for a few turns. Okay, hit space. So blue, now the best the blue can hope for is second. Actually, not hope, but guaranteed get. Okay.
But he's third.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, wait. Yeah, of course. Green is... Oh, wait a moment.
what?
Wait a moment. Why is red first when back there? Wait.
Green just made another lap.
No. Yeah, red didn't make sense. So red's done 2 laps.
Mm-mm.
Green's done 1 lap. But I'm almost sure there was a problem. Because I thought that green was in front of red and red was still first. That's a problem. Okay, Okay, we need to retest with exactly the same steps. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, I'm simply not going to maximize, and I'm going to tell you what, I'll pull it out here. Okay, and I'll make it way larger so we can see it fairly well, but we still have access to the game manager, so we can change things. So 64. Okay, hit play. I mean hit the, no, it's already playing. Hit space.
Oh, sorry. Blue is rolling.
Yeah. Now, if only we could skip all of these things, but we can't. Oh, the 64! How'd you do it?
Because we made him.
Yes, I suppose my joke grew old about a month ago. Okay, so...
But you just made another one, so...
So we did this, then we did a -1, then we did another 64. And that's where we want to pay attention. Okay, so it's first. That's fine.
Now this guy's -1.
So let's, yeah, I'll tell you what, actually, let's move this a bit further down here. That's all I need to see, because I need to be able to also examine our players.
Except we can't see laps.
I know. Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put it in here. Okay, and that should be large enough for us to see things decently well.
And we can see laps, we can see players, we can see game manager.
Yep. There. That's the best we can do. So we get a 1. So first still, okay. So player blue has done 1 lap. Okay, that makes sense. Now let's go to the game manager, switch to -1, and hit space, please.
There we go.
Okay, so now green will stay second even after it overtakes blue.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, now let's check green here. It's got 0 laps, and we're fine with that. And blue still has 1 lap, and it's leading. Okay, now hit. No, don't. My bad.
I almost hit it.
Good work. 64. Now hit it. Okay, so yellow will now roll.
Two. That rolled for quite a while.
Yeah, I do think there's something going on with the fact that we give it these enormous numbers. I don't remember what it is, but we'd need to look into the code.
But it won't actually be enormous numbers, so it's not that much of a problem, right?
We'll see. So let's look at yellow. See yellow? Yellow is currently second, and that is correct. It will overtake blue.
Blue and get a lap.
And it should become first.
And
but
it didn't.
And that's our bug. So let's take a look at yellow. Yellow's got 1 lap. Blue's got 1 lap. Race position is still that. Oh, dearie me. I know why. Because it ended up behind the start line. So it counts as row 62. Tile 62, 61, whatever it is. You know, a high tile. So it's got a higher score, practically speaking. So it's working correctly. The problem is, if we fall behind start, we need to account for it and lower 1 lap. It's the only option we've got.
Okay, so...
But at that point, it means that if you cross the start again, you shouldn't get rewarded. Okay? So we need to fix this. This is an important bug now. Okay, so good. We've learned a few things. So let's go here. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a concept. So we've got the concept of laps. We're going to add another concept, which we are going to call public int.
Public int.
And go highest lap.
Okay. Highest
lap.
Lap.
Semicolon. Save. Okay, so now in setup, I think we give it laps is 0, and do also highest lap equals 0.
Highest lap
equals 0.
equals
Semicolon.
Semicolon. Save.
Now hit Control F.
Control F.
And let's find this.
Laps plus plus.
So this is done in Game Manager right here. Okay, laps plus plus. And what we need to do in this case is we also need to do a check. So the way we're gonna do that check is in player. So let's create another public void in player. Public void, and go increment lap. Increment lap.
Increment
lap. Open round, close round. Open squiggly, enter, enter, close it. Save. Okay. And what we're gonna do here, instead of doing this lap plus plus here, here call increment lap. So in.
Okay.
There it is. Hit tab. Open close round. So inside increment lap, here we're gonna say laps plus plus. Close the thingy. Yeah, save. And here you type if open round highest lap lower than laps lower than laps. There it is. So if the highest lap isn't higher as the amount of laps we've got, as high as the amount of laps we have right now, what should we do?
Then we must make it like lower in grade, like second, before.
No. You're not understanding. What does highest lap mean? It's the most we've ever had.
Oh, okay.
So if the highest lap isn't as much as the laps we currently have, we need to increase highest lap to be exactly the same as the laps. So go highest laps, lap equals laps.
Laps
equals laps.
equals laps.
Semicolon. Save.
Save.
Okay, now one thing that we also need to do is we need to ask for an int here. So let's say int and call this one dir for direction, dir. Okay, and give it no default value. And here instead of plus plus, go plus dir.
Except that was equals plus
dir. Yeah, leave it here. Save.
Oh, dirs.
Oh, my bad. Plus equals dir. Save.
What's the difference between plus and plus equals?
Well, plus is just an operation. Plus equals is a shortcut for equals, myself, plus whatever else you add.
Oh, so if you do, so this is laps, and you're adding dir to laps.
That's right. So plus equals is laps.
But then
if
what
we
does
were
the
to,
plus mean?
It's just the operator. If we were to write this explicitly, we would write laps equals laps plus dir. Do you understand or not?
No, I don't understand what the
Okay,
difference
suppose you
is.
have a weight that weighs 5 kilograms. Okay? If you want to add a weight of 2 kilograms, how many kilograms will you get at the end?
7.
7 kilograms, right? Now, the way you write that is you can write 5 kilograms plus equals 2 kilograms. That's how we wrote it now. But you could also write
But usually in equations, like we write q plus 3, stuff like that.
Yeah, sure, but that's the thing, right? So the difference between the 5 kilograms, 2 kilograms, and laps is that laps is a variable, so it can be given different values. So you can change the value of the variable depending on the value that the variable currently has. So suppose your q is 5.
Oh wait, I think I get it. So laps equals laps plus dir would not add laps to it itself.
That's right. It would give the result that laps from then on would obtain is whatever it was before plus dir. Right? By the way, guys, if you hear screaming, it's our her little brother. He's screaming. That's what he does. Okay, so laps plus dir. That's good. Now, you see we have an error. We need to go and determine the dir. Now here, increment lap, we're going to put a 1 for positive. Save. Now, that's if the next tile is positive. Now, but we need to check if the direction is negative. Because if the direction is negative, we are going to have to actually, and we cross the start line somehow, right? We are going to have to reduce by 1 lap. So go backwards by 1 lap. But we're not going to punish the player, okay? We're not going to remove the score, but we're going to go backwards by 1 lap, okay?
Okay.
So then it's possible.
So the first will be removed from the player.
Well, if it gets overtaken, yes. So let's take a look at how we're doing it now. So look here. First, we create an int called returnable, right? And then we give it the value of the tile ID plus the direction. And if the returnable is lower than 0, right? Then we say that the returnable is the length of the tiles. Okay. Now here, if it's lower than 0, it means we went under. We went under the start. So we're gonna have to do something here. Okay.
Okay.
So instead of cross start, we're not gonna do anything. We're just simply gonna go backwards. And this one, by the way, is not good enough. We're gonna have to make some checks here as well. So what we are going to do is we're gonna copy this, paste it here. Actually, paste it before the returnable. My bad. Paste it again. Yeah. And now delete all of this. Well, save, and feed it -1 here. Okay. Save. All right. So we go down 1 lap. Now observe that when we go down 1 lap, we will check if the highest lap is lower than the laps. What does this mean? That highest lap is not going to change if we go lower than that. So what does that mean? If we've crossed 1 lap, our highest lap is going to be 1. And then if we get knocked back into the previous lap, our lapse is going to be 0. But our highest lap is going to be 1. This means we can check it later. Okay?
Okay.
So here, we can actually check whether we should call this or not. Okay, so here we're gonna say if open bracket. Now wait a moment. Copy this, paste it here, and go laps. Yeah, equals. Paste again. Dot highest lap. Yeah. Close the round bracket. Open the squiggly. And close the squiggly here.
Oh, I do not need that.
Yeah.
I wonder what that is.
Well, all of this is largely caused by how you hold your hands on the keyboard when you do 2. Because you're using pinky all the time, so you're causing loads of damage with that. You're using pinky for this. You need to find a way to do a hybrid between the 2 things that you do, right? You have 2 ways in which you type. 1 is you bounce with 1 finger only, and 2 is you say, for example, I know you've learned this from an internet course, but that's stupid. You don't hold the index finger on the F. You hold the index finger on the D. WASD. Remember? WASD. If you need to hit a G, you jump. If you need to hit minus or tab, you jump. You don't do it with a pinky. Ignore your pinkies. Oh, sorry, didn't mean that. Ignore your pinkies. It's like they're not there. Okay? Anyway, typing lesson over. So let's now check what our code does here. And let's be careful, okay? You pay attention, girl. So here we get tile ID plus direction. Now presume we get a -1. This means we got knocked off from the start line, so we went down a lap. Therefore, we update our lap to -1. Right? We go, I don't know why I put a space there. Save. So it goes.
I'm using my pinky.
Yeah, no, you can use the pinky for control. That's exactly what the pinky is for. Control and shift. Okay, so increment lap -1. So we reduce the laps variable by 1. Okay, meaning in this particular situation, we will have, for example, 0 laps, but 1 highest lap, or 2 laps and 3 highest lap. Okay, now that's important because the next time we cross the start, we're gonna get here, right? And we know, yeah, we've crossed the start. Awesome. Now let's check if laps is the same as highest lap. Because if laps is the same as highest lap, that means we have crossed to the next lap for the first time. And if we do it for the first time, we update highest lap. Okay, so if we do it for the first time, we do deserve the points. If we don't do it for the first time, we deserve nothing. Okay, so the change score right here, cross start, only applies
So when we cross the start once, then we'll get a point. I mean, some score, whatever. And then if we get
knocked
hit
back,
backward and then cross it, you've already done it. So
you don't get the points for crossing it again for that lap. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now that seems to me to be fair. Okay, so now save everything. There, I've done it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to test this again exactly as we did before. So let's check the game manager here. Let me actually set this to -1 so I don't forget it. And now that I'll press play, I'll change it to 64 and then you can make it run. I keep forgetting not to maximize. Okay, so 64. There. Hit play.
There.
All right, so green's going
Green's
first.
the lucky one.
And now we need to wait for about a day. It's okay, it's not too bad.
It's more like 5 seconds.
That's true. Have I ever told you about hyperbole?
Mommy has.
What does that mean? What is hyperbole?
And hyperbole is like you're exaggerating a lot
Why?
to make it like funny.
Fair enough. I mean, for other reasons. That's the correct answer. You are exaggerating something to drive a point across. Okay, so we crossed that,
like
we got a lap.
This is taking ages.
Huh?
So like the point of this is taking ages.
Right. So let's see here. By the way, that's hyperbole too. So you see laps is 1, highest lap is 1. Awesome. Let's take a look at red, who's our next guy. 0 and 0. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go back to the game manager, switch it back to -1. By the way, this is a great example of why it's important to test. There. Roll the die. And let's see what we get. So 11. It's a very good, very good throw.
Okay, he's second.
He's second.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Because he's done lap already.
Yeah, wait a second. 64 again. So yellow's going to do another 64. Go.
Yellow's going to overtake him on the start, though.
Yeah, I know.
So he's going to get overtaken again one more time.
Yeah.
Come on, Yellow.
But it's currently on 0, right? So yellow's third. It's about to become second. That worked. Okay. And when it overtakes green, that's awesome actually. It overtakes green twice. That's why it was happening. So it's obviously we're cheating, but it's a fairly good test because this type of stuff can happen in games. It doesn't look obvious. Okay, so let's take a look at our green here. You see, highest lap 1, laps 1. Uh-oh. Laps has not been updated.
Uh-oh. We need a debug, I think.
I think I know why. Because that happens in overtake. So this particular thing here is only played... Well, is it actually? Yeah, this is only played for the person who is actually doing the turn. Yeah, so we gotta be careful. I hope that get tile isn't called by overtake, so we need to actually check this. Hit Control F for me.
Okay, there we go.
Open a round bracket and let's see what we get. So there's one. Okay, it's called by execute malus. That's a problem because get next tile. Oh, we have an interesting bug. I think that it's actually applying the malus to the other player. The player who's currently running. So that's a second bug on top of this. Now, that's a fairly easy fix. What we're going to do is we're going to say for whose behalf, on whose behalf, which player, right? Mm-hmm. So do another int here and call, oh, my bad, undo a couple of times.
Int.
Okay, stop. Okay, type int.
Oh.
Int.
It was an int.
Yeah, and now player ID.
Player ID. I'm playing with my finger again.
Yeah, comma. Space. Okay, save. Now, this guy will go a bit mental in the various places, so let's go and check first. So this is when we execute the move, and therefore we need to say ourselves, right? So this one is going to be player dot player ID or whatever. Player dot car ID, I think it's called. Car ID, yeah, comma. Save. So that's good. Now about this one, this is execute malus. It actually should also apply to the player in question. Therefore, exactly the same. So player.car ID, comma. Save. Okay, and now we need to go back to the game manager, which is the only one that's doing this. And now we need to be careful because we have player ID, which means active player is wrong. So copy player ID, and we need to replace this, paste it. And then this, paste it. And this, paste it. Actually, do me a favor. Hit Control F here. Okay, so it highlights them. All right, so paste it. Paste it. Paste. One less. I'm breaking everything. Paste it. And paste it. Okay. Save. Moment
No,
I
there's
need...
a lot more.
Yeah, but those are fine. Those are in other functions.
Yeah, we can't put player ID there.
Okay, so save. All right, so now this, first of all, let's see if stuff is even moving. Because we may have broken who knows what. I don't think so, but you know. All right, so again, 64. And let's hope this is the last test. Hit space.
It is moving, so.
Yeah, no, I think everything will be fine, I think.
Come on. It always ends up in 4.
Yeah, I'm
It's
not
kinda
sure
weird.
why. There's a reason for sure. I don't know what it is.
We won't have actual 64s in the game, though.
Correctamundo.
It only goes up to 12.
It could be that it only considers the 4. I just don't know. Okay, so the movement is happening flawlessly, which is great. It means that our change for the player ID should work without trouble.
I think our PFX happens a little early. Tell before.
Yeah, possibly. We'll worry about that later. That's very, very minor. Okay, hit space.
Yeah, we were dealing with more major bugs than that. Dong.
Okay, so second and first, wait. Okay, that's all good.
Waiting.
64, go. And now moment of truth. Well, moment of truth, somewhat delayed. Okay.
Again 4.
Yeah, it will always roll the same when we specify a number. Okay, so it's third now. Second, correct. Okay. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. The suspense. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Usual boring old board.
Okay.
That I made, but anyway.
It became first. All right.
Moment
Now
of truth, that worked.
let's check red. See, it says laps 0, highest lap is 1.
Yes.
Blue, laps 1, highest lap is 1.
Yep.
Green hasn't moved yet. That's why race position is negative. Yellow, laps 0, highest lap 0. Okay, now let's change the game to normal play. Just to test. Okay. And now hit space. Go.
Okay, whose turn is it? Green.
It's green. So green will surely overtake blue.
Blue's in the way, but it won't become first.
No, it only became third.
Third, and then it skips
a turn. Okay, roll now with
Okay,
red.
red.
Now if red overtakes blue, we should get...
Hey, by the way, about the PFX.
Wait, just a moment, please. So,
Yes.
first. Okay, awesome. Stays first. Stays first. Okay, now roll with yellow. It should become third when it overtakes green, but remain third.
When it overtakes first. Boing.
Third,
Third.
remains
it
third.
remains third.
Okay, and now blue. Yeah, roll it.
Blue hanging in the back.
Shouldn't really matter, but unfortunately blue didn't end up in the back outside. Toing.
Ow. So they did get hit.
Okay, everything's working. So what were you going to say about the PFX? So
It doesn't matter anymore because I noticed that the PFX did not happen when he crossed it.
Oh, good. Awesome. Yeah, so everything's working fine. In fact, the score is reflecting that they only crossed the line once.
Mm-hmm.
Okie dokie. So everything is now working. Now, finally, we get to actually solve the problem that we set out to solve in the first place, which is how many points are we going to give when he crossed the start?
Mm-hmm.
So we originally had it right here.
Turn it off.
Yeah, in game scores, we had 1,000. I think 1,000 is insufficient, first of all. I think we need to change it to 2,000, maybe even 2,500. So let's do that.
Where is it? So we need to cross it at least twice to get to target score. or we can make that 10,000.
Well, we can put whatever we want for target score. Right now, the game doesn't even care, right? So 2,500, and sure, we can change those numbers as much as we want. All I'm saying is that if you recall when Mami and us were playing, Mami was faster than everyone, and she wasn't overtaking anyone. And even when she crossed the line once or even twice before everybody else, she didn't get nearly enough points. Right? So what I think we should do is do the following. We're going to make some kind of ratio. So suppose, for example, the first person gets 3,000 points. The second person gets 1,000 points. The third person gets
500.
Right, 500 points. And the last person gets near 0 or something like that, right? Or maybe how about 3,000? Then half of 3,000 is 1,500. A third of or half of 1,500, which is 750, and then nothing. Or maybe a third and then nothing. Well, anyway, there. So we need to specify those ratios, and we need to do it with an array. So we are going to go right here. Oh, wait a second. No, we can't exactly do it with an array. Yes, we can. It'll be fine. Okay, so where are those? Here, for target score and all of that. So serialized field, private int.
Okay. Serialized field.
Space.
Like this.
Yeah.
Private.
Yeah, there. Int.
Int.
Yeah, space. And call this int array, my bad. Okay. Yeah. And call this one lap score ratios.
Lap.
Score.
My pinky does work better with shift. Score
ratios. R-A.
Wait, let's see if we can spell it correctly.
Yeah.
Ratios.
Yes, correct. Semicolon. Save. Okay, so array.
I press Control 8.
Whoa. Okay, save
Sorry,
now. Control S.
Control S.
Okay. Now hit Control MO because there's too much displayed.
Oh,
Save.
save.
Okay. Now here we now are gonna have our ratios here. Now what a ratio is basically a division.
Okay.
It's the quotient. It's the result of a division. Sort of.
Sounds pretty simple.
Sounds pretty simple. So we have 4 players, right?
Okay.
Whoever crosses first gets the whole value of the score.
Yes.
Whoever crosses second gets half. Oh, they're ints.
5.
That is a fool. Change it to float.
We gotta
please.
make it float.
Save. Okay.
What
This-
are these little red dots
What red dots?
on the side of the
Those indicate where in the file the thing you're searching for is found. Okay, so 0.5. Okay. And the person who arrives third, we are going to say they get a 1/6. Now, a 1/6 would be a third of 0.5. So it's 0.5 times 0.3. So 0.15. Okay, how much is 0.15 of...
You press calculator?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Oh, sorry.
So let's see, 3,000 divided by 2, that gives us this, okay? And I want this divided by 3. Meaning we get this divided by 6. So how much is 1 divided by 6? It's 0.166666 reoccurring. Okay, I don't know that I like this number because it's, even if we input it here, we're not going to get a nice number. And I don't want players to be really confused by what they get. So we need to change this to some other ratio. Now we can simply divide it by 2 again, and that will probably be okay. So a quarter, like this. Right?
But
Because
you replaced it,
0.25 of 3,000 makes 750. And that's all right. Yeah, and the last person, we could be generous and give him 10%. Right, so 10%, 0.1 times 3,000 makes 300. 300 points. Sounds good. Yeah, I think this is okay. So bear in mind, whoever gets there first makes 10 times the point of the last one. Now this may be exaggerated, right? We may need to play with these values, but for now we're gonna leave it here.
Okay.
Capiche?
Capish!
All right. Now we need to actually deal with these because it depends on the score, and we should also get some kind of bet prompt when you lap, right? So inside the game manager, evaluate landing tile. Is it here? No, it can't be here. Where was it? Get time. Yeah, not ideal how we've named some of these, but whatever. Okay, so here is where we get the score. Change scores, cross start. Okay, and that's fine, but we need to determine which score we get based on the position. And it's all very well because the position is kept by the player, and this is done on the player. So let's go to the player, change score, right? And no, wait a moment. Your daddy's a banana because this game scores is calculated here apparently. Okay, so we need to multiply this. Okay.
Okay.
So now it's going to wind because this is a float. So multiply by and type ratio. Yeah, open a square bracket and now feed it. Wait, copy this. Paste it here. Raise position.
Okay, wait, Ray.
There, it's already there. Raise position, close the square bracket. Okay, so now if it doesn't complain, which fortunately it does.
It does.
Okay, we need to be very, very careful because we are now mixing a float and an int. In fact, it's complaining here. So here's what we're going to do first. Cast this as a float. So open a round bracket, say float, close it.
For what?
Close it.
No, we close it.
So now we'll stop complaining, except something else will complain. Because it will say, hey, change score requires an int. And now, right here, you type mathf, capital M, math, th, there it is, dot, round to int, open round, my bad, and close around right here. Save.
No.
Close around, save. It's already done, save. Okay, so what does this do? We need to convert this to a float so the multiplication can be done correctly, right? Because this is a float, right? Which multiplies cross in start, which is 3,000 right now. So 3,000 times whatever the position we're in, okay? Well, rather, whatever the ratio of the position we're in is, okay? Then when we have that big float, which in this case, say your first, it would be 3,000f, right? We're going to then round it to the closest int, which makes it 3,000, but it's just an int. Okay? So this is just sort of a workaround to get us to multiply this correctly, okay? Save. Okay, and this will now account for different scores being given. Now, we have a bit of a problem, which is when we instantiate this and we set it up with cross start, right? It actually doesn't know what value that cross start is. So we should probably do something here. And how do we do this cleverly, right? We should say something like, well, we should make it so that all score displays the score that we got. And this is going to be a bit of a problem because it's not designed to do that at the moment. Well, tell you what, we're going to leave this problem for later, okay? And we're just going to verify that this is working correctly.
Okay.
So for us to do this, we're very simply going to go to the game manager, hit play, right? Immediately hit 63 or something, 64, whatever, 64 is good. And now simply roll 64 with all players. Right? So
every player will do a lap.
That's right. Now green should get 3,000.
Which means 3,500.
Yeah, that's what we expect. And it's landing on a standard, so we should get 3,510.
Come on.
It's working on it. Yeah, 3,510. Now yellow's turn. Yellow should get to 2,010, but he will also do an overtake, which I think is valued 250 or something. No, 200. Yeah. So let's see. So it should get, let's guess this, right? So 500 it's got. We add 1,500, right?
Which
so that's
is 200.
2,000. 2,000. Then we land on a standard tile. So 10, 2,010. And we overtake once, which is 200. So
2,210,
yes,
I think.
Yes. Hit space.
Let's press enter.
Off we go.
Off we go.
And by the way, yellow should stay second when it overtakes green. Yeah, we got it, mate. Can you end rolling? Thanks.
And I think it will overtake green twice.
Oh, that's a good point. We miscalculated. Yes, so it will have 2,410. Good call, lady. Just being second really cripples you if you didn't do anything on the way.
Bong.
Yep, okay,
Hooray.
that's correct. And now blue will
Overtake twice and then
I
again.
don't know that it will overtake green. I think it may ignore it.
Maybe.
Well, hit play and then we'll guess as it walks, as it drives. So it will get a quota, which means 750. It overtakes many people. So it will overtake 4 times. So 4 times 200.
It ignored the
Yeah,
green.
okay, so 3 times. So 3 times 200 at 600 plus 750. That's 1,350 plus the original 500. It's 1,850, and
Okay.
it lands on the 1. So 1,860 should be. Let's see. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now for the last one, this one will get 0 by 0. No, actually, it's a lie. It will get 300 points for crossing, but it will overtake
1, 2.
1, 2, 3, 4 times. Okay, so that's, yeah, roll it. So that's 800 for the overtakes, 300 for the points of crossing, so that's 1,100. And then it will land on a 10, so 1,110. Unless I can't do math, which is possible. Ah, yeah, I forgot the 500. So 1,610 it should.
So will it overtake blue? Now it's gonna overtake this and this and get a lap as well. Red soon will be done. Bang, bong, bong. We miscalculated.
Oh,
Yes, it
Wait,
overtook blue as well.
well, yeah. So we had more overtakes, and therefore this person is actually leading over blue. Now I'm not too bothered by this. This is actually fine, right? The worry was that whoever's first was really, really getting very, very little score, and instead now we've largely affected that. I don't know if we solved it,
And
but
now
we've
the
affected
guy
it.
who's first is now last.
Now, just to make sure, what we're going to do is we're going to simply try and roll the dice normally. So when we cross the start, let's see what happens. Yeah, go roll it. So we should have green become third, second, and then first, assuming it rolls enough. Yes. There we go. Okay. Yeah, but it didn't get the points for crossing again. See, that's good. Now roll again for yellow. Now yellow should also have a minus. Yeah, should have a lower lap than highest lap. And you see it became 1 now. Okay, everything's working. Fantastic. All right, so let's give this a save, the project. And now, dun dun dun, we have a bit more time. So what we're going to do is we're going to start working on our cards.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
We need to. We're gonna have to open Blender, make a new thing.
That's right. Well, we're just gonna make a card, really.
Okay.
Yeah, and let me think this through.
It's just gonna be a flat rectangular sheet.
Well, almost flat. If you make it completely flat, then you might as well use a quad in Unity.
Yes.
All right, so models, car racing. Wait for a moment to think, and double click it. And obviously
And
it goes
obviously
to
it
the
goes to
screen.
the wrong side.
Rubbish.
That's the wheel.
That's the wheel. We've done the wheel. Okay, so here is the stuff, and I think we can use this guy to make a card out of it. Yeah.
Dong.
Yeah, that's the board. Okay, so duplicate this guy. Shift D. Remember, it's Blender. It's a bit different. Escape.
That.
Yeah.
Escape.
Now go M to move, and let's move it
Layer
in
4.
the fourth layer. And here, okay, so hit Tab to edit. And what we are going to do on this one is we're going to give it some thickness. Now, so I personally don't see any particular reason to keep this card as tall as it is. I think we need to make it a little smaller. And before we do that, what we're going to do is we're going to delete all of these faces. Now, I'm going to teach you a trick. If you go to face selection and hit L now, because this is a different material, or maybe there's a seam here, we can select by region. So we've selected all of the regions in common, and we're going to hit delete, F for faces, and that helps immensely. Okay, now this one, we're simply going to drag it down a little bit. I mean, a card is more or less like this. There's no particular reason why we should make it taller.
Now we need to make it fat.
That's right, we need to give it a thickness. And that's fairly easy because it's already elevated from ground. So all you need to do is go E to extrude. Actually, I don't know that I like this. No, here's what we'll do. Mirror on the Z axis. Done.
Perfect.
Okay, and now I'm gonna hit Tab to go to edit.
Whoa.
I think you hit the top one, which selects all layers. Okay, are you in edit? Yes. I mean, you're not in edit mode, you're in object mode. Hit apply. Now go to edit mode and hold Alt. Okay, hold Shift and Alt. Okay, and now hit W. Release the mode.
It?
W.
O?
E.
E.
So this should bridge them.
And
Yeah.
now the others?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. The
Well,
others
we don't actually even
are
need that.
mirrored, I think.
We don't even need that because what we're going to do is we're going to start cleaning this up a little bit. There's too much stuff. So hold Alt.
Okay. Alt.
Hold Alt and Shift as well.
And Shift.
Okay, release them.
Oh, click.
Delete vertices.
Whoa, there's almost nothing now.
There, that's correct. Hold Shift. Hit F. Hold Shift.
Now we can. Now we're starting
Hit
to see
F.
things.
Hold Shift. Hit F. Hold Shift. Hit F. Hold Alt. Hit F. Hold Alt. Hit F. Okay. Press A to select all. And now we need again one more time. Now we need to recalculate. Boop. Because the
One of
normals
them
were all
flipped
bonkers.
normals.
Okay. Now for this,
Let's give it a different material.
what for?
Because otherwise it will look like the start
It
tile.
doesn't matter. We're not importing the materials.
Oh,
We're just
right.
importing the quantity of materials, and the cards only need one, and I think that's okay. So what we should do?
Hey, but it's called Start to Tile 001. We should change
Yes,
that.
that's a good point. Go ahead and change the name. Call it card. Card.
I think it's still got 2 materials.
Yeah, good point. Hit card. Yeah, decent attention to detail. Well done. Okay, so let's go and kill one material. Hit tab to exit edit mode. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so it's got one material now. I don't really care which one it is.
Yeah.
You could even remove this. Doesn't matter. Because one material is assigned by default. You cannot have an object without. Okay, hit tab to go to edit mode. Go, it's already all selected. Hit U to unwrap. Project from view bounds. What this will do is, let's show our users. Viewers. So if I go to UV image editor, it's basically splatted what we see here to as much
As it could fit over
as
there.
much as it can fit in the square for the texture, right? And this means that the top of the card is visible here. The bottom of the card is also flat here, but technically speaking, we would probably need to mirror it. I'm not worried about it. We'll leave it there. And the sides are completely invisible, meaning that if you put, say, a black color on the edges of your of your card, this is gonna look black. Right, so that's not great. I mean, you can massage it this much better than we did, but this should work for our purposes. Okay, give it a save. All right, so here we go. Now, what we are
Got
going...
10 minutes. We can do a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to do very much.
Yep.
So what we're going to do is we're going to put the cards over here. Okay? So now our board needs to have some stuff added. So let's create an empty. Call this one cards. Create another empty. Call this one deck.
Could you click it?
My bad. Sorry. Deck. Okay. And inside deck, we're going to have cards. So what we're going to do here is we're going to simply create a 3D object cube.
Yep.
That's it. And now we're going to I think we're going to keep the collider. No, we're not. We're going to remove the collider, but we're going to leave the mesh render and the mesh filter. And we're going to change the mesh from this to our card. There it is. Okay, so let's go to the scene view to see how it fits. So it should actually clip inside the ground a little bit. That's fine. Now this card is a little bit large. Now what we're going to do is we're going to leave the card as large as it is, but we're going to make the deck a little smaller. Because we can make the parent a little smaller too. And that should do well for us. So I'm going to move the game here again, just so I can see how it compares. So now it's too small. So let's change it to 75.
But how big is it supposed to be?
That's a good question, right? It depends on your sensibility to it. I don't know.
This looks like it's at least 4 tiles can fit in that.
Yeah, that's fine. So where we're going to put it is we're going to put it right here. This is where the deck is going to be. Okay?
Maybe we could also add a piece of text that says deck.
You rename this one to card for me, please. Yeah, we could add a piece of text that says deck. That's fine.
We won't have to change it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not too fussed, but maybe. So what we should have is this. So first of all, I think it'd be cool if our players had an inventory, and the inventory had at least 1 slot, or maybe even 2, so that the players can...
Under here, maybe?
No, I wouldn't put them. Remember, people can see what you point at. She was pointing at the scores. I don't know. Maybe we should put an icon there, but it should be a very, very simple icon. And then when your turn comes, those cards teleport back to your to the desk or something. Or when you play them, they go to the desk. So basically, there should be a slot for the deck here, and then a slot right beside it for the played card. Yeah, the card that's being played right now.
Okay.
Okay.
And then it goes under.
Yeah, it goes to the bottom. Exactly. So we're going to need a list to which we can add things at 0 point, add things at the end point, and all of those things. Okay, so now for the deck, what I think we will do is we will cheese a little. So right now, this is a card, right? That's just fine. Now, we don't want to put cards in the actual deck. What we're going to do is we're going to immediately make a card appear from the deck when we pick it.
Okay, so we won't actually pick the mesh.
That's right.
We'll instantiate a card there and then move it.
That's right. So, that means, though, that we need to have a deck that looks very, very similar to our cards. And we are going to do it right now. So let's go back to here, and this is our card. Now remember how I talked about this being how this works, right? For the deck, seeing the side of it will be pretty important. So we need to do a better unwrap of this. Okay, so let me think this through. We could dedicate a part of the space to the card, then another part to the other side, to the back of the card, and then we need the sides. Now the sides of the card need to be visible, but the sides of the deck need to be more visible. I'm pondering. I'm thinking. I'm pondering.
And I'm waiting.
Sorry. Yeah, your dad is a bit, you know how he is, right? He's a bit slow sometimes.
Captain Slow.
Okay, well, this is fairly easy to do. So hit tab first. Hit Shift D to duplicate. hit escape right away. Hit tab, Z, A, B, box select. Okay, I'm gonna move these to 0 on the Z, and A to unselect, B to box select. I'm gonna select these and hit G, Z, hold control for me. Let's say this is fat enough for a deck. There we go. We got a deck.
Very simple
Rename
deck,
this
but
one
it's
to
a
a deck.
Deck.
Yeah. And this to a deck. Hit enter. Okay, so we got the deck, and it's brilliant, and it's right here. Awesome. So what we will do to the deck is
Which
we
is
need...
pretty much a cube, but anyway.
Well, sure. You know, well, you can't get so difficult about this, can you now?
I know.
Yes, you can. Because you are you. All right. What does that mean? What does that mean, eh, Daddy? Actually, rubbish. The deck doesn't need a bottom. So let's remove that.
Bye-bye.
So that's one face saved. And now we only need the top. And what's important for our top is that the top is exactly the same as the back of the other card. So here's how we will do this. I finally figured it out. So let's go to, hit tab for me. Let's go to the other card. Okay, hit tab again. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to pick the bottom of the card right here. Here, okay. Now hold shift. Okay, now press release shift and press N for me. Okay, so N opens the toolbox, and what I'm going to do is instead of leaving an X of 0, I'm going to say an X of half of the plot, which is 128. Right there. So this half is going to be the bottom of the card. Hit tab. My bad, hit tab again, sorry. Okay, now hit shift and release it. The left half, the left half is going to be the top of the card. Hit tab, not tab, hit A.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's my bad, hit A again. No, hit tab first, A. All right, so you see the left bit here, this face is the front. This face is the back, and the side is just not there. We could possibly put all of the sides here if we wanted to, but I don't think it's important for us. Now, whereas the deck, it is. So hit tab to go to the deck, tab, okay, and now this, let's go here, hold shift, so release shift. Now this must be 128, okay? So now the back here is exactly identical to the back of our card. That's very important, so that when we instantiate the card on it, the illusion will look real, will look okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So now we need the sides. Now hit A here. Now the sides, A again. You will see that the sides look like an empty square. Yeah, and that's not nice. That's not ideal. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this and hit mark seam. So we're going to have a seam all around.
Wait a minute. We only have this half.
I know. One moment. And now, if you... Actually, I don't even need you to do anything. Hit mark seam for this.
Hit mark seam?
Yeah.
How?
Sorry, you can't. My bad. Maybe you can. I'm just not aware of it. I'm going to mark seams on all of these.
Okay.
And now I'm going to select this. Hold shift.
Wait, here you go.
This, and this. Okay, release shift. Go U for unwrap and hit enter right away. Oh, my bad. Hit U for unwrap again. There. Okay, so it set them like this, and that's acceptable. That's not bad, but we are gonna make it even more economical. We're just gonna do this. Press G. Press G. Press G.
It's coming out though.
I know, I'm working on it. Press A to unselect. B to select all. Box, I mean. G. X. A to unselect. B to select box. G, X. There we go.
Now everything's splatted onto that rectangle.
That's right. A to unselect. A to select all. R to rotate. 90 degrees. Okay, and now we need to do a couple fixes here. So A to unselect, B to box select, WAA. This does auto alignment.
Okay.
B to box select, WAA. B to box select, WAA. B to box select, WAA. Okay, B to box select. 0 on the X.
So much B to box.
A to
You wrote
unselect.
0076.
Oi. A to unselect. B to box select. 128. A to unselect. B to box select. 0 on the Y. A to unselect. B to box select. And 256. A to unselect. Alright, so now all of these
Or splatted onto that rectangle.
That's right. And we need to remember that we need to do vertical lines on our texture to make it look like cards. Right? That won't be too difficult. We just need to be careful not to do too many. So it's time to stop, and we will stop here. Well, actually, let's save quickly.
Okay.
And let's go here and replace our deck. Actually, our deck needs a mesh filter and a mesh renderer. So, yeah, position. Let me fix it a little bit better. I don't like the weird numbers. Your daddy is a bit, special. Okay, filters. Type FIL filter and type renderer and type box collider and type rigid body. Okay, so because we're gonna have to be able to click on this to get a new card or something, we're gonna replace our space button with something else. We'll see. Maybe we're gonna click on the dice or something. We'll figure it out. So mass irrelevant, is kinematic, use gravity, no, and box collider, we'll see. Now let's change the mesh to the deck. All
Except
right.
it's pink.
Yeah. So you see an interesting thing. The card doesn't look like it's at 0, 0, 0. That's because it isn't. Okay, so yeah, it's pink because it doesn't have a material. So let's go ahead and create one. Okay, so this is growing chaotic. There's too much going on. So let's
Why
create.
did they make it pink?
Pink
looks
is
hideous.
a conventional color for no material. Okay, rename this folder to board. So we're gonna drag board in it.
Die numbers and die wheel in it.
Yeah, die numbers and die wheel.
And probably
And all of the
And all of the
tiles. Hold
tiles.
shift. Yeah, release it. Okay. Let's create a new folder. Rename this one PFX. Hit enter.
that's all of the PFXs.
And create a new one. Call this one player. Car body.
Non-PFX, you're putting in PFX.
Oh, that is breaking stuff. Car wheels, car body. That's better. Okay, so the board has these. Now let's create a new one for cards because we're gonna need it. We're gonna have quite a few materials for this. So cards. Actually, that's a lie. We're probably gonna have only 2, but it's fine. Okay, so create material. Where are you? Where are you? Here.
Is there.
Okay, rename this one to deck. And give deck to the deck.
Hooray.
No
more
and let's give
pink.
it a different color just so we can tell it apart. It's weird pink. So, and then card, which we're gonna put right here at the top for a moment. Right?
It looks like a cap
Duplicate
in a box.
the deck. Rename it to card. Okay. And now let's drag the card to the card. And next time we're gonna start working on the textures in 2D. Okay. And for the cards we're gonna have to make some decisions, but basically what we want to do is we want to make them stand out so they're obviously different from one another. Right? We're gonna make very, very simple drawings. Okay. We're gonna have some fun being silly. Okay, good. Perfect. So the cards here, we don't really care. The deck's there. Everything's fine. Everything's done. This doesn't affect the gameplay for now. We are happy. All right. So save, please. I'm going to hit apply on the board. Save again, just because I like to torture you. Thanks very much for watching, and we will see you again next time when we texture our cards. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Did you notice the collider is wrong?
I didn't. Okay, let's tell them. Hey, guys, my daughter just told me that the collider is wrong. So let's go to the deck and hit
fix it.
reset.
And let's
There.
pretend that
Are you happy now?
Yeah, and let's pretend nobody said it was over.
That's right. Okay, now let's say it real quiet. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Bye.
It's over.